guys, it's Dima from DimusTech, and I feel obligated to talk about why I'm not getting the Google Pixel 4. So for those of you who don't know, Google lately released the Pixel 4, and how should I say this? It has its good sides, but it has its bad sides. I'm gonna try to talk about both of them, and why I'm not probably getting one. So first of all, we have a good, nice, simple design. Now, in my opinion, it's pretty good. I mean, except that camera module, maybe, it's pretty okay. Now, those of you who actually want an all-body screen and everything, that's not exactly my thing. I mean, I'd prefer actually a phone like this, with such bezels, instead of a notch. Now, the good side, it doesn't have a notch. Not on the small model and not on the XL. That's good for me, but the previous models, one of the reasons that you had a chin and you had a bezel at the top were actually that you have stereo front-facing speakers. And here, you do have stereo speakers, but only the top one is facing the front screen and the bottom is actually firing down to the bottom. How should I say this? It's a downgrade, it's not an upgrade, and I don't like it. Now the main reason that they actually left the bezel at the top is the whole face detection and the solid radar. And let's talk about that as well. So first of all the pixels so far, and even my Nexus 6P, and I don't remember how far back it goes, but all those devices had fingerprint reader. The Pixel 4 does not. That's very, very sad for me, and I'll explain why. First of all, we have a new face detection that supposedly will be good and even faster than the iPhone. And how should I say this? I didn't try the iPhone in extreme conditions. I did see how it unlocks and everything works well. And of course, if you have a twin brother, there might be situations that he might unlock it as well. But there's one thing that the iPhone did correct and the Pixel did wrong, and they're actually preparing a fix for that already. I mean, the phone just got out and the people who got it already waiting for a fix, seriously. I mean, it's okay to do some mistakes and things like that, but that one was really stupid in my opinion. So they did get rid of the fingerprint reader, and now you are left with pretty much two options to unlock your phone. The PIN/password, button, whatever you prefer, and the face. If you are sleeping, for example, your partner, for example, or whoever gets your phone, can pretty much point it at your face and it will unlock, because by default the phone doesn't recognize if your eyes are closed or not. And few people already tried it, it does not. In the beta or in the alpha previews, I think, or something, there was actually a setting that you could enable to recognize if your eyes are closed or not. But sadly, for some reason, it disappeared with this setting, and a fix is upcoming, but seriously, it's not by default. I don't know what Google was thinking. Now another thing, I don't know about you, but when I wake up in the mornings, my face is still on the pillow, half of it, I would say, inside the pillow almost. And you look terrible and you're not awake and anything, and you barely can look at anything, and you want to look at your phone. I mean, it happens pretty much probably all the time, right? I'm not really sure that any face detection will work well. I didn't try the iPhone on that situation, but pretty sure even the iPhone will struggle here. And that's kind of obvious. But in, for example, my Pixel, in the Pixel 2 XL, when it did have the face detection, though it wasn't obviously that good and that secure, but it worked before they disabled it. In those cases, I could always use my fingerprint to unlock. But now, you'll have to awake a little, just enough to actually write your button, password, or whatever you chose. I don't want that. Sorry, I had that idea. Now, the bezel isn't used only for all the face detection techniques and everything, and I didn't hear actually anyone trying it in the dark, so I have no idea if it works in the dark, at least yet. But one thing that we also have in that bezel at the top is the solid radar. The motion sense, or however we want to call it. Basically, Google was working on that small radar for quite a few years. And though this radar brings some, I would say, cool features, I think it's still a gimme. Now this Soli radar, or motion sense, however you prefer to call it, allows you to do a few things. First of all, your phone can detect, even before you touch it, if you approach it and stuff like that. So basically the Soli will be able to awake your phone, awake your always on display, so your always on display won't really be always on, only when you actually approach your phone, which is great for your battery. I mean, I usually just disable the always on display, I just don't like it, but some people do like it. And in this case, it will actually consume less battery, which is good, obviously. Now, that's the first. Obviously, if you approach your phone, probably you want to unlock it in a moment. And that's where actually the coolest thing here happens, I think. Already while you approach it and your always on display already turns on, the Soli will also scan your face already, and by the time you actually reach to your phone, it will be already unlocked, if it's you obviously. Now you can obviously disable those features, and you will have to see always the lock screen if you want. You can play around with those features a little bit, at least from what I understood. So that feature is cool. Another cool feature is if someone is calling you, or your alarm goes on, or something like that, you can pretty much wave to your phone, the alarm's volume will go lower, same for your ringtone, and you can pretty much dismiss it, or snooze it, whatever you choose. That's kinda cool feature, and from what I understood it works pretty well, so that one I do like. The other, and sadly pretty much last feature with Soli, after all those years you would expect more from Soli, you can swipe left and right to skip songs on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play Music and stuff like that. It will obviously won't work on all the apps at the beginning, more apps will probably add it by API, etc. But from what I understood, it doesn't always work that well. Sometimes it mismatches your swipes for something else, sometimes it will recognize accidental swipes. It's not perfect. I mean, I can understand why you would want such a feature if you are trying to cook something, for example, and your phone is nearby, and your hands are dirty. You can just swipe in there and it will switch your song to the next one, etc. That's kinda good, but again, it doesn't work perfectly from what I understood. This feature probably will grow and eventually you'll have more options with software updates, and Google is obviously great with software updates, but it will take time. Another pretty good thing, but it's a small one, is the orange color. I actually like it. I mean, I like orange and you can see it by all my logos in DimusTech and everything, but that's a limited color, it's a limited edition. That means that the orange won't stay for long, and actually, at least right now if you go to the Google store, you'll see that the Pixel 4 XL orange color, which is called by the way oh so orange, and the 128 gigs is already out of stock. Now, you can still pre-order it and get in line or something like that, but it's kinda sad. Another kind of weird thing. The orange color, the white color, they look awesome and they are matte finish. I mean, you don't see so many fingerprints and it will look pretty good, I think. But the black color, which I also really like, my Pixel 2 XL is black, it's glossy. Why? Google, why? I don't know, I hate the glossy thing. I mean, maybe it will look more great, but come on, it will be a fingerprint magnet and black fingerprints. Where's a fingerprint reader? Come on, guys. So another quite good thing about that device, they added some sort of neural chip into the device, which basically integrates the Google Assistant more into the device. It will allow more processing power, more sort of AI processing power specifically inside the device instead of the cloud, which will make your Google Assistant much faster and live transcriptions if you saw the previews and stuff like that. It would be awesome and I can't wait to see it in action, and probably in the future it will come to other languages and I can't wait to see it. That thing is great, but it also said that you do need to have that chip and it won't probably work on the Pixel 2 XL, etc. So that feature I'm turning down for now because I probably won't upgrade to the Pixel 4. And same goes to the camera. Now, inside the camera, this chip specifically, will allow you to actually preview your final image, your HDR processed image that you would see only after the shot. You'll be able to see it before the shot as well. So while you're pointing your phone, you'll already see the final result pretty much, or at least something close to it. And that's kind of cool. That will allow you to play with the new settings that they added at the top, and I have something to say about that. You can play with the shadows and the highlights. That's really cool that you can do it even before actually taking the picture. It will improve the photo's quality. Now, if you just want to point and shoot, you still can, obviously. That was always the good thing in Google Pixels. You pretty much point, you pretty much shoot, and you have a perfect photo with their HDR and everything of processing. They do that very good, and the Pixel 2 XL has still awesome photos. You can go to the Instagram page, to my personal Instagram page if you want, and you'll see awesome photos. Most of them are still shot on the Pixel, so you can see how great they are. The problem here in that camera, in the new knobs they added, it's good that they added them, but seriously, while I'm holding here the phone, I don't really want to reach the top there. I mean, it's uncomfortable, come on! I saw how Samsung does it, and you have your controls near the shutter, so you can control it pretty much easily with the same thumb that you want to shoot the picture. So that's kind of closer to where all your controls, and it's easier to reach. I hope they'll fix it with a future camera upgrade or something. Actually, I still hope that those features will come to other Pixels like the Pixel 2 XL. I still have hopes to that. So let's talk about the live transcriptions, which are awesome, and actually I think that feature is growing on Google pretty much everywhere. That includes the Google Translate, even the YouTube. You can actually hit right now the CC button and choose automatic, and it will actually live transcribe my words. I mean, it's not always perfect, especially with my accent probably, but it works really great, and actually I really love that feature. And yeah, what Google showed is exactly the problem that I have sometimes that I'm outside, I'm somewhere, there's a video that I do want to watch or quickly view it, but somebody is saying something and I can't listen because it's too loud or because I don't want actually to turn on the volume. I'll be able to read it, finally and sadly. That feature, probably because of that neural chip or whatever I call it, won't come to the Pixel 2 XL, and probably if it will, it won't be that great. I can only hope. What's good on the Pixel 4, all that live transcription can work offline, at least with English. Not really sure how it will work in the future with other languages, if it comes, but probably you'll be able to download some upgrade that will allow it to work offline as well. Maybe not that good as with English, but we'll have to see how it works. Now, in addition to that, Google includes a new recorder, a specifically audio recorder, which doesn't sound impressive at all. I mean, just an audio recorder, right? But if you actually record right now any memos on your phone, it can get pretty hard to actually find where was that part during that meeting that someone said a specific word or something like that. And I don't know about you guys, though in our case meetings are mostly on Hebrew, at least in my workplace, but those specific ones that someone says a system's name or something, those are still on English. So it will still work for me pretty well. I mean, if I can find that specific system that someone said that name, it will be good enough. And if your meetings are in English, all your meetings are transcribed, which is awesome. So that feature, I really look forward to it. The screen also gets a small but really cool update. On both of the models, which kind of, not really sure that that one is good, it has a 90 Hz screen. That means that your screen refreshes much more often when needed, and Google says it will only do that when needed. So in case, for example, you play a game or something, you want to refresh it with over 90 Hz. But if you're just viewing photos or something like that, it will probably go back to 60 or even maybe lower. I'm not really sure what's the lowest for that screen, and it will consume less battery in both cases. And here's the troublesome part, the battery. The battery isn't that big on the XL. I mean, if you compare it to other devices with such huge screens. Well, comparably huge. And on the small Pixel, Oh dear, the battery is so small. Google still promises a full day battery, and Google usually does deliver that. At least for the beginning of the life of the phone, but after some time it might get a little bit less. And how should I say this? 90Hz screen will consume much more battery. So I'm not really sure if Google understands, but in terms of hardware, we have a lot of things to talk here about. We're in the era that 4 gigs of RAM in a phone, long gone. Sorry. I have 4 gigs here, and it works well on my Pixel 2 XL, but I would obviously like more, always. Phones now come with 6 at least, and we're talking about phones that have even 12 gigs of RAM. I mean, seriously, and Google just started to add 6 gigs of RAM on the Pixel 4. If that's not enough, the processor is 855 Qualcomm and not the Plus version. Why not? I don't get it. The Plus is already out for enough time for Google actually to switch to the Plus. It shouldn't be that of a problem because they're pretty much the same with 855 from what I understood. It's kinda sad. I mean, it won't give you that much of a boost in performance, but seriously, go to the latest hardware, why not? I just don't get it. Now, I want to go back to the camera for a moment. I forgot to mention one of the coolest things here, which I still have to see in my own eyes. I still can't believe it. And I think some of that might work with my Pixel 2 XL. I still have to try that. So, as you probably have seen if you actually follow my other YouTube channel, my personal. If you're not, that's fine. I mean, I post just travel videos or things like that, some GoPro footage lately, and specifically I'm talking now about the GoPro. I did some night time lapse, which you actually can see the stars. Now in my case, those videos aren't that good because I don't have such a great view in the window, but you can see the stars moving there, which is awesome. And the Pixel 4 can do astrophotography, which means it can shoot stars. Now, they do recommend a tripod, they do say that it will be a one photo, which is obviously understandable. Now, it's not one photo with one exposure, they actually do a few photos and then combine them, and all that software magic that Google does. It's not magic like the engineer said, it's just normal calculation obviously, but for us, for the end user, it's pretty much magic, and it works really well, obviously, for Google up so far for all the Pixel 2 XL and 3 XL with the camera. The camera is awesome, thanks to its software, but I still have to see it because astrophotography isn't that simple, and I really want to see it in my own eyes. I'm still struggling to shoot regular photos with my DSLR camera, with the GoPro at night, and this specific phone can do it in one shot automatically. I have to see that. Now, if we're talking about the camera, let's talk again about hardware. How about the wide lens that everyone is now adding and everyone is loving, and you have great shots, and well, it's not a GoPro, but I mean, wider lens is always cool. You can shoot more people with one photo, which is obviously good, and more stuff, and you know, sometimes you can't go backwards with your phone because there's a wall or something is there that you can go farther from the object that you want to shoot a photo of. So a wider lens is always welcome, and let's be honest, who the heck wants actually to zoom on their phone? It's usually not that good. But Pixel again changes everything. They still don't want to add a wide lens, though they did add another lens. But they added a telephoto lens and it's just 2x. How should I say this? In terms of hardware, Google again doesn't do that good. That doesn't mean that it's bad, but it's not good enough. I mean, you have that square module there, so add 3 lenses, like the iPhone. I mean, honestly, this year, as much as I hate iPhones, and you know what I do, Apple did a little bit better job than Google in terms of hardware, and maybe even in terms of software at some point. As someone who really loves Google, you can see, I'm sad about that. But that doesn't end here. Again, let's go back to the software. Google is awesome with software. What Google showed in the announcement, in the keynote, was actually awesome. So let's forget the wide angle lens right now, and let's stick to the telephoto. So first of all, obviously you can zoom with tricks, nothing that special. And if you remember, the Pixel 3 XL added a super zoom, I think they call it. Super res zoom, I think they call it. So basically the software pretty much takes a few photos. Again, it's their HDR plus and everything. When you zoom on an object, it will take a few photos, it will combine them and remove the noise, and it's a higher quality even though it's zoomed digitally. So Google is suggesting us, and they suggested here again, don't crop the image after you actually took the photo, zoom in before you take the photo and only then take the photo. And it's because of software processing, and that's obvious. And they actually showed a photo, obviously with perfect light conditions, of the Golden Bridge in California, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, not from the United States, I've never been in that place, yet at least. So I might be mistaken which photo they actually showed, I don't really remember. And they show a pretty good photo. You see a pretty good detailed photo of the bridge, and then they start to zoom out, show you we didn't actually take that photo from that distance, and you see that yeah, it's been zoomed, so whatever, I mean, it's a 2D zoom, right? Then they actually get much farther, and they claim that that's where they took the photo from, and that's pretty much a 7x zoom, and wow, that looks amazing, and if that zoom actually works that well, that's great. I mean, I actually have a sort of better version of the new Google Pixel 4 photo camera, at least that, obviously, and I can do that 7x zoom. It's not perfect as they showed. It's quite good actually. The 7x, how should I say it? It's not good enough. I mean, I wouldn't use that. But it's pretty okay, and I guess maybe 4XL with all that chip and the neural chip and everything will do a better job. And actually, in my tests, I didn't really try it in good light conditions, so I should probably try it more, but I think the Pixel here nails that as well. We'll have to see about that, but again, there is no wide lens. Now, obviously, the night sight has some upgrades as well. It will be better, but I think if it can do astrophotography, there's nothing to say it will be better, right? I mean, there's nothing here. IP68, which is always good. Wireless charging, that's obviously good. Now, let's go back to the storage. So, you remember the 128 gigs that I said? They have only 128 gigs and 64 gigs. Oh dear, Google. With your great camera, I want to take so many photos, and I actually do, and I have only 128 gigs. Yeah, I can take pretty much lots of photos, but I'm kind of limited here. And on my Pixel 2 XL, so far I can use the original quality and upload to Google Photos and still contain the original quality, which is awesome, and the high quality is awesome as well if you actually do that, but only 128 gigs, and you removed from the Pixel 4 that option to allow original quality for free to the Google Photos. Guys, what's wrong with you? I mean, why? There's currently a bug on iPhones that allows iPhones to upload in original quality for free. What's going on, Google? Something is wrong with you. Go back to where you were and fix that. I have nothing else to say. But maybe there is something with those 128 gigs. I mean, what consumes more space in our phones is actually the videos that we take. And the Google Pixel XL, no exception, takes pretty good videos. But not 60 FPS and 4K. I have no idea why. I mean, pretty much all the other phones already take 4K 60 FPS. Not the Google Pixel, only 30 FPS. Obviously it will be better for that type of storage, but only 30 FPS in the video department. No improvement at all in that. I mean, probably the image stabilization is still awesome on the Pixel, it is, but no 60 FPS. I'm going to shoot more videos with my GoPro. Sorry, Google. I just can see where you're going with this. I mean, you do like improve things, but not fully improve them. That's what Apple did all those years. What's going on? Why are you acting like Apple? Did someone forget to tell me and now Google became Apple or something? Because Apple started to do much better job. That doesn't mean that I like Apple now or something. I still love Google, but something happened to Google and I totally dislike that. So in the end, I'm not going to get the Pixel 4. Now, keep in mind that I still might get it, but it will be for the wrong reasons, because I still might need to upgrade at the end. I mean, I'm still in Pixel 2 XL. It still works well, but it's kinda getting old. My mom needs a new phone, and usually I just give her my older phone and I get myself a new one. In this case, I might get her a new phone. I mean, I don't mind in terms of money, but usually she just doesn't have any requests for a phone. I mean, she doesn't really care which phone it is, as long as it can open pretty much Facebook, WhatsApp, has a decent camera, and that's it. That's good enough for her. Lately she just wants the biggest screen ever, and I'm actually willing to buy her even the Note 10 Plus, but even that for some reason doesn't seem like a big screen for her. If you guys know any phone with a huge screen, let me know. But in the end, there's a slight option that I might get the Pixel 4 and give her the Pixel 2 XL. There's another chance that I might take a OnePlus maybe. There's a even bigger chance that I actually pretty much stay with my Pixel 2 XL because it's still very good. I still like it, but I have that urge to upgrade as everyone else. So if you have something to recommend specifically for my mom with a huge screen, I'll obviously like to hear that. For now, Google, I'm sorry, I'm not upgrading, and I hope we'll fix what you try to think that you're doing with the Pixel 4, and the Pixel 5 next year will be the real awesome king. Let me jump a little bit just for a second for the Pixel 3. Last year, I didn't upgrade as well, and the only reason I wanted the Pixel 3 XL. It was perfect for me, everything was perfect, but the notch. I had notches. So, you fixed the notch, and you broke pretty much everything else. Google, please fix yourself. Thank you for watching this DimusTech episode. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell so you won't miss any future video. And I'll see you on the next one.